Wow, this is a lot of roots. This looks incredibly healthy. Like I personally can't see anything wrong with that plant. It's huge. I didn't quite expect the plants in this box to be this big. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Claire and this is Yoli. I make videos all about houseplant care, sharing tips and tricks I've learned over the years to help keep your plants happy and healthy. And I've just received not one, but 2 rescue boxes from the rare plant shop that I ordered. And I haven't ordered plants for myself in quite a while now, so I am super excited to see what's inside. I'm really intrigued as well because I literally have no clue what's in here. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. So this is the first ever order that I've placed with the rare plant shop. I've obviously heard quite a lot about them before and I have seen some of the rescue boxes that you guys have received so far. I know a lot of people have been posting things on social media and oh my goodness, the plants inside just look incredible. But I have spoken about the rescue boxes before. They were created by Sarah Gerard Jones, who's also known as the Plant Rescuer. I did do a video with her a while ago, kind of talking you through a little bit about the rescue boxes and why they are so fantastic. So I will link that video down below because it's absolutely incredible that so many more plant shops are now teaming up with her to bring you rescue boxes. There's 3 plants in every box that you get from the rare plant shop and their boxes are £35 each. It does differ depending on where you get your rescue box from. It's also not limited to the UK. There are rescue boxes popping up here, there and everywhere all over the world now, which is fantastic. But I think £35 for a box is actually very good in this case because if you look at their websites, which I will link down below, some of their plants on there are like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And bearing in mind that you do get kind of like a well-established plant or 3 well-established plants that just need a little bit of rehabbing, I think that's pretty awesome. And there is also, with the rare plant shop, a chance to win some like mystery prize plants that are not rescue plants. They're just really insane plants. As I say, I did order 2 rescue boxes and I'm pretty sure they've just put all of the plants into one box. So I'm assuming I'm going to have 6 plants in here. And from what I've seen, from what other people have showed and talked about, they don't actually label their plants. So I'm gonna be taking some guesses here. Oh, okay. I may have opened this upside down, I'm not quite sure. But that's what it looks like. And from what I can see, the plants look pretty big. Like they're kind of, I can see leaves coming all the way up the top. They're kind of spanning the full width of the box. So, ooh. Okay, yeah, so all of their roots are in this little bag. So I'm just going to undo the bag and then I will show you everything. I was also a little bit worried because I placed my order for these plants, I think about 10 days ago now. And I assume I was one of the first to order. I literally ordered my boxes as soon as they came on the website. And then I did end up ordering another one for my friend later that day and she got hers about 6 days ago and mine were just saying like waiting to be collected by the courier, and I don't think the order was packed up until they were actually ready to go, but I've just been a little bit stressed about the fact that they might have been sitting in a warehouse for quite a long time. But from what I can see, they all look really good. Wow, this is a lot of roots, but all of these roots look really healthy. So let's try and divide some and get them out. Okay, so the first one that I've taken out is obviously an anthurium. I'm not 100% sure on the ID of this one. Looking at the veination, kind of looks like a crystallinum. I have got a crystallinum in my collection already, but the veination looks quite similar. So I feel like it's either probably a crystallinum or maybe a crystallinum hybrid of some sort. I'll put all of my kind of like guesses of what the plants are on the screen, and if you think otherwise, then please do let me know in the comments down below. But to me, this looks incredibly healthy. Like I personally can't see anything wrong with that plant. And again, the video that me and Sarah, the plant rescuer, did when we spoke about the rescue boxes, was just kind of saying that obviously rescue means different things to different places. Like some places that you order from, you might get plants that are kind of really beaten up and they look like they need a lot of rehabbing. And other places they might just be like, well, this one doesn't have 5 leaves and all of the other plants we're selling have 5 leaves. So this one is now considered a rescue. But look at those roots. They look super healthy. They look really, really full. And it's got that gorgeous leaf there. And it's also got another leaf coming up there, which is very exciting. But yeah, my guess would probably be a crystallinum or potentially crystallinum magnificum hybrid. I don't know. But yeah, that would be my initial thought. But I'll do some digging, and as I say, please let me know, and I will keep you updated with all of these. So also in terms of my plans for the plants, this one to me doesn't look like it needs a great deal of rehabbing. I think I'll probably just keep these isolated for the next few weeks just to make sure that they don't have pests, make sure there aren't any underlying issues that I'm not aware of. But I think probably with this one, I mean, it's definitely ready to be potted up. I think I might get this one into pon just because I have actually transferred my other big crystallinum into pon fairly recently and it's responded really, really well. My grand plan will probably be to pot them together at some point and get an even bigger plant going. So yeah, I think at the moment, that's what I'm thinking of doing. I will probably be using the plastic bag technique for most of these just because I don't have a lot of isolation space at the moment. But yeah, it looks fairly great. So I'm really, really happy with that. Okay, so this next one, this is what it looks like. I'm pretty sure, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is a little Philodendron gloriosum. It didn't, so basically on the Rare Plant website, the Rare Plant Shop website, it said there may be these plants included in the box, but it's not limited to those ones. And I don't think I saw the gloriosum on there. But as I say, it doesn't mean that it's going to be one of those. But just looking at obviously the veination of it and the velvetiness of it and the structure of its growth, it definitely looks like a crawling philodendron. So yeah, my guess would be a Philodendron gloriosum or potentially some kind of gloriosum hybrid. Again, I'm not entirely sure, and often when a plant is quite young and it hasn't kind of developed its mature form yet, it can be a little bit hard to tell. But I would go with gloriosum. It's also got a beautiful new leaf just about to unfurl there. But again, I think this one looks in really good condition. Obviously, there's a tiny bit of damage on some of the leaves, but nothing that would stop me buying this plant if I went out, saw it and liked it. I don't think the condition looks bad at all. And again, its roots look fantastic. So yeah, I've got a fully potted gloriosum in my collection. And I've also got a couple in my prop box. So I think maybe what I might do is pot them all together and get a really kind of big full one going. But yeah, I'm again really, really happy with that. I think it's gorgeous. Oh, okay, back to the untangling. Oh, this one has untangled very nicely. This this is one, okay, so it's obviously, I would say definitely philodendron. This is one that I would say it looks very similar. I think it's probably a Plougmanii. It also looks very similar to the marmaid, but because it's got slightly longer leaves and slightly kind of bigger vein indentation, I would probably say Plougmanii. The only thing about it that's making me think maybe it's not a Plougmanii is the fact that it kind of doesn't look like a crawler. It looks like it's climbing upwards. Maybe it's just the way that it's growing, I don't know, but the Plougmanii is a crawler and this one looks like I could put it on a moss pole fairly upright and it would continue to climb upwards. So again, yeah, any theories, please do let me know. It's stunning, whatever it is. It's got beautiful kind of silvery splashes across its leaves and it's got a very kind of arrowheady shape to it. Yeah, I think that's really beautiful, but I'm not 100% sure on the idea of that. So I will have to do some digging, do some research into that. And yeah, if any of you know, please do let me know. But again, fantastic root system. all of these plants as well, I know I said that I was worried about them having sat in a depot or whatever, but I mean, they look really hydrated. They look really fantastic. And again, to me, this, I would never think rescue plant looking at this. I think it looks really conditioned. I can't see actually any damage on the leaves whatsoever. I wouldn't have thought, I was going to say, I don't know if rescue plants count as ones that might have recently been treated for pests. I wouldn't have thought that was the case. I would have thought they'd put a disclaimer on there if that was the case, but I'm just going to be monitoring it very, very carefully. Also, if you look at the top of the petioles on the plant, they're kind of ruffly. So yeah, I'm a little bit baffled. I'm not entirely sure what that is yet, but whatever it is, it's very beautiful. So those are the first three. So let's call that box number one. And then the second box, the next three look to be really quite huge. I can see this one here, and I do know what this plant is, and I do actually have this plant, although the plant that I've got is very juvenile and I would quite like to get it looking a bit fuller. So this one will eventually be potted with it, I would have thought. Let me get it out. So looking at this bit of the plant, this looks like just a philodendron Florida green, which, as I say, I have got in my collection. I really love it, and mine's very small at the moment, and this is a very generous sized plant. But if I look up here at this leaf, that looks way more Florida ghosty to me. And I've got the philodendron Florida Beauty, and as I say, I've got the philodendron Florida Green. And I only say Florida Ghost because this one, unless this is just a very new leaf that hasn't kind of hardened off yet, but none of my leaves have done this. So I would guess that maybe this was a reverted Florida Ghost that has just put out a slightly more ghosty leaf. Yeah, I'd be very interested to know what your theories are here, because obviously the rest of it is just very standard green and there's no variegation going on at all. But when my current philodendron Florida Green puts out a new leaf, it doesn't look anything like this. So I'm a little bit baffled. But yeah, again, fantastic roots. It looks really healthy. There's the slightest bit of damage on some of these leaves, but again, I would never look at this and think rescue plant. It's got fantastic aerial roots as well, so I'm going to be able to put it straight onto the moss pole once it's kind of adjusted to my home and I've made sure that it's pest free. I can see a little fungus gnat just stuck at the top there, which makes me think that maybe it had fungus gnats before. But with all of these plants, I'm giving them a fairly thorough check and I can't see any sign of anything else pesty. So yeah, I'm really happy with that and excited to know what it does, because I'm now a little bit uncertain of its ID. But yeah, I think that's lovely. So this one, I know what this one is purely just because I actually got rid of this type of plant quite recently. I took it to the plant swap. This is a philodendron Paraiso Verde, but this is a super, super variegated one. It's also ginormous compared to how mine was. And the reason that I got rid of my Paraiso Verde is just because it wasn't really giving me any variegation on the leaves. I felt like I was doing all the right things for the plant. I had it in high heat, high light. I had it in a really chunky philodendron mix, and it was giving me lots of new growth, but it just wasn't giving me much variegation. So I didn't give up with the plant, but I just kind of felt like it would do better in someone else's home. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what this one does for me. If you look at the top of the growth here, that's obviously very, I was going to say reverted. It has got stable variegation, so the variegation can absolutely come back. But this is looking much more like how my one was that I got rid of. So part of me is thinking maybe I'll chop it back to the growth down here and see if I can get any more going. But I don't know if you can really kind of see the scale of that on camera. That is ginormous. That's really, really huge. And I know for a fact that this probably in itself would be worth more than £35, let alone for 3 plants in one box. So I think this is a very good deal. Again, it's got some fantastic aerial roots, and I know that this plant loves to climb, so I will get it on a pole quite quickly. But yeah, that's gorgeous. That's really, really lovely. And again, doesn't look like it needs much TLC. Again, I know rescue plant, but maybe the fact that it's considered a rescue plant is just because the top section of growth hasn't really done much in the way of variegation. But for me, it looks really healthy. Again, it's got a little fungus gnat there, like a squashed fungus gnat. I don't know how they do pest treating at the rare plant shop, but it kind of feels to me like maybe there was a little bit of a fungus gnat infestation and they sprayed something on the plants. I'm not sure. Also on that note as well, and this is something that I've only recently kind of started being more aware of, but I think what I will probably do is in the isolation time that they are not in with the rest of my collection, I probably won't use predatory mite sachets on these plants just because I don't know if they've been treated with anything systemic. I don't want to harm my predatory insects. I'll wait till they're back in kind of like general population before I do that. But yeah, again, very, very pleased with that. It's huge. I didn't quite expect the plants in this box to be this big. But then the final one, this one is another, I mean, I say big, this one is ginormous. And again, I'm not 100% on the idea of it, but I think this is probably a philodendron jerry horn. And I got a cutting of this at the plant swap really recently and I thought it was gorgeous. I only think that it's a jerry horn because I've been looking at a lot of pictures of that plant recently. And if it is, then that's fantastic because I can pot them together and again, it will make a lovely full plant. But I cannot get over the size of this. It's literally, I mean, that's its roots. They're insane, but that's from the floor to the top of my head. It's so big. And again, looks in really fantastic condition. So I don't know what's made this plant end up in a rescue box, but I think it's beautiful. Oh my goodness, as I say, was not expecting the plants to be this big and this well established. I'm gonna have to think about where I can keep all of these because that's definitely not gonna fit in either one of my cabinets. And this one, in fact, is probably gonna be quite a difficult plant to isolate just because it is so huge. But yeah, I think it's absolutely stunning. And again, really, really nice aerial roots there. So I would say a moss pole almost immediately, and I'm pretty certain it will latch on quite quickly and start climbing. And then yeah, when my other one's all rooted and ready to go, then I can pot them together, assuming it is a jerry horn. I know I could technically pot them together even if it's not, but I am just a little bit funny in that way. I like my plants to, I don't like mixed pots on the whole. I don't know why, it's just a weird thing of mine. But yeah, I think that looks incredible. So yeah, I am really ridiculously happy with those plants. I think for £70 all in, I got some bargains there. I can't believe how, as I say, how generous the size of plants were. And I'm super excited to see what they do next. I'm pretty sure since they've been a UK shipping, they will acclimate fairly well to my home, but I will make sure to post lots of updates on them, and maybe in a couple of weeks I'll do a full updates video and show you what they're up to. But yeah, I'm super excited about the plants that I've got in this order. As I say, if you're interested to know more about the rescue boxes in general, then I will link me and Sarah's video down below. And if you want to go and get yourself a rescue box when they're back in stock, then I will link the Rare Plant Shop's shop down below as well. There are, as I say, lots of other places that are also doing rescue boxes nowadays, but this was just quite an exciting one for me because I've never placed an order with the Rare Plant Shop. But yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.